my heart couldn't bleed anymore. I overheard him tell his mom that I was never his queen. And a piece of me broke that day. It really did. I felt like I was spinning out of control and going into a dark place. And I felt my heart just bleeding. But one afternoon, I remember listening to my apostle. He was talking about, don't let your heart harden.
Welcome to episode number 42 of the 100 Successful Women, a Conversation to Inspire series. Comment below if this is your first time watching a video on our channel. If you are, please also subscribe to our channel so that you get notified of our next video coming up. As usual, I would love to thank you for tuning in to this channel, and I trust you'll find some value out of the sharing by all these beautiful and incredible women. In today's episode, I have someone whom I really admire joining us in our conversation. Tiffany Harvey, dialing in all the way from the USA super early at where she was when she was jumping on the call. Thank you so much, Tiffany. I was intrigued by Tiffany's bio. She is a U.S. Navy Reserve Commissioned Officer. I told her I read David Goggins' book, which made me learn how hard was it to be a military. What to say being the only Black woman when she joined. As you can guess, she faced a lot of adversity when she started, but she overcame the challenges. She's not only on a mission to share her story, but also to inspire more women out there. She also have a very interesting business called Pick Her Sweet Poison. I thoroughly enjoy our conversation. So let me stop talking here and let's dive into our conversation coming up next.
Are you ready? Welcome everybody. Let's get started.
And he told me that it's over, done decision. I don't wanna feel how my heart is ripping. In fact, I don't wanna feel, so I stick to sipping. And I'm out on the town with a simple mission. In my little black dress and the shit is singing. Just a heartbroken bitch, high heel, 6-inch in the back of the nightclub, sipping champagne.
Hi Tiffany, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for jumping on here. Where about are you in the world?
I'm actually in Maryland. I live on Fort Meade, Army base. So it's near BWI, Baltimore side of the house in Maryland.
Well, I know that it's super early at where you are now, right?
Yes, it is. It's 5 a.m.
Well, that's so I'm so grateful that you are willing to jump on here at this early of the hour. So my question, the first question that I have for the guests on this 100 Successful Women podcast is that I know that I did have a look at your bio, Tiffany. You have different roles that you are playing. So you are a U.S. Navy, a mom, obviously, a business owner. So the question is, who is Tiffany Harvey really is at your core?
At my core, I am a smart, beautiful, kind, sensitive person who just loves what I do. And not when I say I love what I do, I love to nurture, mentor anyone who's following in my footsteps, because I really want them to take my position one day. I'm all about my people first. If my people are happy, then the job will get done, and it will get done, willingly. So that's kind of me. I just love just bringing people along, encouraging them. I love to see people happy. I love to see people grow. I love to see people promoted. And I think that's why I kind of been maybe so successful in my career, and in my business, because I put people first. It's not always about me. It's not always about making money or anything like that. It really is about people first. And if people are happy, I'm happy.
I love that. So you are people-centered and you're instead of me, you are including everyone else.
Correct.
I love that. So basically, you are actually serving in the Army, like as a Navy. So can you share with us, because I know that you probably when you just started, you were the only Black woman in the US Navy. And obviously, there are lots of different uncertainty. There are some challenges as well. Can you share with us a little bit about that experience of yours?
Yes, so I joined the U.S. Navy in 2005. I had graduated from Florida A&M University, and after I graduated, I, was working at Hertz. I did not have a military background at all, but I had a very special person in my life who kind of talked to me. He's like, "Hey, you might want to consider going into the military. You have your degree as an officer." So I applied to all the branches, and the Navy is the one that picked me up. And I was like, "Yay, great! I'm going in as an officer." I went to officer candidate school, and then when I got my first ship assignment, it was on a USS Nashville in 2006. I was excited, I was nervous, but when I checked on board, I was got a state of shock. I realized the USS Nashville was an all-male ship. It's just the way they built it back in 1960, 61 when it was commissioned. And when I arrived on board, it was one female officer. Oh my goodness, I did not realize at the time that also I would be a majority only Black woman on the ship during my tenure for almost 2.5 years. More women would come, more women would go, but for the most part, it was only maybe 8 to 10 females at a time, including when we had the Marines. And it was I was probably the primary Black woman. We had a couple other people come and go, but throughout 2.5 years, I was the primary Black woman and so many little women on a ship, on an all-male ship. Just to give you an idea, the ship Navy personnel could hold about 500 people on that type of ship. And when we had the Marine Corps, it could get up to about 1,000 plus people on that ship. So thinking you had 1,000 plus people, maybe 8 females.
Wow.
On it. Right. So I would say when I signed up, I think I was really naive, thinking that, hey, there's a bunch of women, it's diverse. It was a complete opposite, it's a very man-dominant field in the military, especially the Navy. And being a female officer on a U.S. Navy ship, it was very hard because I felt like my voice was never heard. I felt like I was pushed in a corner a lot. And all I wanted to do was really just do a good job and take care of my guys. And every time I thought I was getting ahead, it seems like something or someone kept pushing me backwards. I really almost had a breakdown when I got hit with fraternization. Out of nowhere, someone accused me of fraternizing with one of my own guys. And I remember standing there as my senior officer was reading to me what was reported. And all I could do in my head was say, "Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. You will not cry in front of these men today. Hold it in until you get back to your room." And that was the day that I realized that this may not be for me. That was the day I realized the military is not for everyone. And I really turned to drinking my pain away. And luckily for me, I had a godsend angel on the ship who realized the struggle and saw it on my face and asked me one day, "How are you really dealing with this? How are you dealing with everything that's coming your way?" Because he could see that I was not my happy joy. I wasn't myself anymore. I was kind of a loner. I didn't really want to socialize with anyone. I just wanted to stay in my room or stay in my office and just bury myself in books. And because I signed up to go to get my MBA to kind of distract me during that time. But honestly, I wasn't doing good at all. I was literally about to start having anxiety, depression. It was just so much to handle at the age of 25 years old. No one prepped me, said you had to, if you become an officer in the Navy, you're gonna have to be a mom, a counselor, a therapist, a banker, accountant, somebody, you had to play so many hats nobody warns you about. So at 25 years old, coming into the Navy, I was not prepared at all. And it weighed on me a lot. And instead of talking it out, I started to drink my pain away. But my godsend angel saw it. He stopped me. And from that day on, he sent me daily devotionals to read every day to pour into me and to motivate me when I just didn't have the strength to do it myself at the time. And it was the best thing and the blessing that I needed at that time because it got my head to clear. It got my heart to clear to know exactly where I wanted my career to go. And I was blessed with another angel that I met at a conference. And I said, I'm struggling. I got to the point where I could talk. I'm struggling here on a Navy ship. Can you send me somewhere for my next assignment where I could easily transition out the military? And he did. And that got me into government contracts where now I have been doing it for almost 15 years. I transitioned out of the U.S. Navy active duty in 2011, but I still stay connected through the reserves. Again, best decision I ever made. I'm the chief of acquisitions at Department of Interior. I'm a commander in the U.S. Navy Reserves, where I'm the chief of staff for the unit I am. I retired from the reserves in 2025. So yeah, the Navy was, it's I would tell anyone it's not for the weak. It is for, you definitely have to have thick skin. You definitely have to have a voice, but know you're going to be challenged if you're coming in. Know that it's not always going to be fun, but I learned a lot. I received my master's. I've seen the world. I have made some of the great friends, and I have a great career because of the military. Really do.
Wow, that's amazing. That's such a big learning curve for you as well during that few years. So you were in the Navy for 2.5 years, did you say?
6.5 years on active duty, a total of 18 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. So during that time when you say you were drinking to release from your pain, and you say there were what got you out of there? You say someone or your mentor
Yes.
or someone that inspired you?
Yes. So he was the chaplain on our ship. And our rooms are actually right next to each other. But we never had too many personal conversations or anything, just regular hi, bye, how are you doing today? But during that time, I was honestly, if you saw me on the ship, it was no smiles. You barely got a basic hello out of me. I was not socializing, like I said. I just kind of wanted to stay to myself because when you are a outgoing person and you love life and you really want to do a good job, it's hard when people don't want to listen to you just because the way you look, just because I'm a female, just because I'm 25 years old. They like, oh, you don't have any experience. Everything I did seemed like it was questioned. And it was eating at me because now I'm trying to figure out, do I not know myself? Am I not as smart as I thought I was? You start really questioning who you are and questioning your leadership skills and everything that you was trained to do. Every job I had prepared me to do this, and I knew I could do a great job. I just wasn't being heard. Everything I said, it was wrong. And then to be hit with fraternization, that was like the ultimate blow to me. Was like, my name is ruined on a lie, and I couldn't do anything about it. And when that happened, only thing I could turn to was drinking at the time, because again, I didn't want to speak out. I didn't know who I could trust. I didn't know who was now going to go start talking to more the men, more the guys. And now it's like, oh, she's crying, she's a woman. You have so many things running through your head, but he recognized that she's not Tiffany. She's not smiling. And he just pulled me aside graciously and just asked me, are you okay? And how am I dealing with it? And for the first time, I was like, I'm okay, but I'm not dealing with it well. And he knew that. He knew deep down inside I was not okay. And I probably was giving him a half truth. But he's like, he took it upon himself. He said, Tiffany, every day I'm going to give you a devotional to read. And he said, I just want you to read it before you leave your stateroom or when you first get in your office. And I just want you to sit there and I just want you to be quiet. And I just want you to think about what you're reading. And that was really the path that took me kind of off the drinking, took my focus off and really put it on, wow, God really has me and he's not going to let me go through this alone. And it kind of just gave me another perspective. I don't even remember if I ever told him I grew up in church, which I did. So the foundation was there. I knew about Jesus Christ. I was born and raised a Christian in a Baptist church. I'm originally from Florida, so my family's all from, Carolinas and Mississippi and Alabama. So, my Southern roots in the church are very strong. But I don't believe I ever told him that, but he knew there was something in me that giving me no devotions would help me get back on track. It kind of put the bottle down and find something else to put my attention on that could really help me grow me and motivate me to keep going until I got to a place where I was happier and I really was off the ship. I was ready to really get back to me when I left the Navy ship because I was so confined and it just wasn't a very good space for me. It was a kind of a toxic environment for me.
Wow. So how long did you take to get out of that, that emotion?
It took, honestly, it probably took about 6 months. It was not a quick turnaround at all. Because when you're still in the environment, you still have to balance where you're trying to get to healthy wise, but you still have to work in an environment where people that may not like you. You're still working in an environment with people that may not trust you or listen to your voice. And that's a hard blow when you take so pride in your name. I was raised to never let anyone take your name away from you. You could destroy that on your own. You don't allow anyone else to do that for you. So when my name was being destroyed for no reason, that was so hard for me. And I didn't really get that sense of my name back until I left the ship. So I was just basically healing in the process. I was working through that process, but I honestly did not get better and back to a better Tiffany until I had to leave that environment. But like I said, the saving grace was he knew something was wrong and he planted that seed to okay, I want you to do this. Just take this morning and just read and just kind of almost a daily affirmation. And I didn't know what affirmations meant. And now I understand what God took me through then. It actually prepared me for a really bad divorce and custody battle that I'm going through now and have been going through for the last 3 years. Because the first thing I turned to was affirmations. The first thing I turned to was my daily devotionals and my Bible. And I didn't go to drinking. I didn't have to go down that road because guess what? I had already went through a major storm once and I knew what to do now. And it's so a blessing. And it's kind of things coming around because I'm now sharing my testimony in a devotional called Joy 365 that's about to be released in the next 6 weeks. So it's like God had already prepared me and he didn't know. I'm pretty sure if I call him now, if I could find him, it was like, thank you and tell you thank you because what you did for me back then is now playing a key role in my life now where I'm writing daily devotions and I'm writing affirmations to help pour into other people just like he poured into me.
There's so many, just like you're giving back to what you learned before. So you mentioned about, so what's actually, what specifically that you are doing right now? So you're still with the reserve, is that right?
Correct. Yes, I'm still with the Navy Reserves. Yes.
And at the same
Yes.
time, you also have your own business. So prior to talking about your other business, there were also, I'm just curious because prior to Navy, obviously you have a different educational background as well. So I saw that you have a degree in, is it agribusiness and in economics as well. That's massive. That's a lot of different educational background that you are having. So and about your business,
Uh-huh.
how did you transition from having your own business?
Yeah, so yes, I am in the Navy Reserves, a commander, and I also have my civilian full-time job where I'm the chief of acquisitions with Department of Interior here in Washington, D.C. So I mentioned that I was going through a major divorce, and it's been kind of going on for three years now. So in 2020, when I was married 3 years. You know, we had a beautiful baby, beautiful house, beautiful job. You know, everything on paper looked amazing. Like they should be happy, new couple. But shortly after my marriage, he started to change. I noticed changes in him like immediately. The talking stopped. He started going out more and more, staying out later and later. Intimacy stopped. Um, I tried therapy. I tried talking to him. I felt like my voice wasn't being heard. And so 4 weeks went by where we did not talk. And I just knew something had to change. I was like, I can't live like this. So I remember my grandmother, saying, the heart grows fonder with a little time apart. So I thought, if I take this ideal to him, like, hey, let's take a little time apart to work on our marriage. In my mind, I really thought our love would come back stronger and better than even before. But unfortunately, what I got was when I told him, he's like, I want a divorce. Mm-hmm. Not only that he wanted a divorce, within 10 days, he wanted to purchase a house. So within 10 days of me saying, I just want to take some time apart, he purchased a house and asked me for a divorce. And I was angry and I was enraged because I was blindsided. It was 3 years. I didn't think our marriage was that bad for divorce. Mm-hmm. But when I thought my heart couldn't bleed anymore, I overheard him tell his mom that I was never his queen. And a piece of me broke that day. It really did. I felt like I was spinning out of control and going into a dark place. And I felt my heart just bleeding. But one afternoon, I remember listening to my apostle. He was talking about, don't let your heart harden. And I knew exactly what he meant at that very moment. And because my heart was hardening by the second. And I just remember crying and crying and crying. I remember praying, God, like, please don't allow my heart to harden. Please don't allow what's about to come my way change me. And I remember God clearly said, Tiffany, you have to talk to someone and you have to let it out or your heart will harden. So at that moment, I was seeing a spiritual counselor, but I also seeing a medical professional. And that was the best decision I ever did because they helped me realize that the storm that just entered my life was actually a blessing to help me find my own strength, a blessing to me start my own business as I'm the CEO of Picture Sweet Poison. And that started because during that time, I had friends who did not want me to be alone. They did not want me to go through this alone. So I was having these little small gatherings at my home, and I always made drinks for, parties, picnics, just as a fun hobby. I started back in college when I was at Florida A&M University. And that was our way to kind of just go out and kind of prep before we go out and have a good time. And one of my friends noticed, like, you have a skill. You don't use recipe cards to make your cocktails, right? I was like, I don't. I just thought was having a good time making drinks, knowing that they like my drinks. And she's like, you really should look at this as a business. You have a skill. Mm-hmm. And so as I'm transitioning to be a single mom, being financially secure has always been important to me. I have a finance background. Like you said, I have an agricultural business degree. I have a minor in economics. I have an MBA in finance. So being financially secure has always been very, very important to me. And now transiting to this new life of being a single mom, it became like extremely important to me. And so as I'm starting to just look at like, can I turn this into business? I realized, wow, there is a market out here for this. I think I could break into the market in more than one way. So the first thing I did was start Pick Your Sweet Poison. It's really all about showing women how to make cocktails from the comfort of their home and making delicious, easy cocktails that you are comfortable with. My friends will always say, I can't drink tequila. It makes me sick. I can't drink dark liquor. That's for men. But that's a misconception just because they don't understand how to blend the flavors together. So I took it upon myself and I made Pick Your Sweet Poison cocktail recipe cards. I personally made each card thinking about a woman. And the box has over 60 cocktail recipes in it. I left some classic traditional recipes, but the box can be found on Amazon right now selling. But I also took it a step forward because they like, Tiffany, well, you're giving us the cards. How about showing me? I was like, another business idea. So I actually host virtual mixology classes every month that you could sign up for. And for 1 hour, I show women how to make delicious cocktails, 4 delicious cocktails. And I send them a homemade bottle of cocktail syrup that I personally make myself. And we use during the class. It's really an experience I have created for women. We have the music, we have the games. I make it so much fun. It's like they're not even in a class, and you could drink safe from home because you don't have to drive anywhere.
That's right.
So so I have the cocktail recipe cards, but I also have the virtual, and I do private in-home here in the Maryland DMV area. But women are actually loving it. And they feel as if when they have their friends and they parties, they can literally show their friends and family how to make a cocktail. And they think they've really been to a bartending class, a skill, and they've been doing it for years. I'm like, no, I'm going to give you just enough tricks to make you dangerous. And where you can make a great cocktail and everybody think you've been doing this for a very long time.
Wow, that's so amazing. And I love the name. And Pick Your Sweet Poison. How did you come up with that name?
I mean, honestly, that name came to me. It really was it started out as luxury cocktail recipes. But when I got with my marketing team, they was like, Tiffany, your name doesn't fit your look and your brand. I was like, well, what do you mean? My cocktails are luxury. He said, no. When I hear luxury, I think of platinum, rose quartz, diamonds, something sparkling. He's like, I like your idea, but I don't like your name. He said, your colors are purple and red and they're vibrant. And he's like, it's fun. He's like, you need a fun, catchy name to catch women. So the marketing team gave me, I promise you, they gave me over 40 new names to pick from. And I was like, okay, I think I narrowed it down to 5 with the help with some friends because it was some great names on there. I said, well, let's do pick your poison. That's very popular. And then a friend reminded me, said, well, can you get the trademark and the rights to use that name? I was like, oh man, I don't think I can. People don't make music. There's t-shirts, there's mugs. There's so much out there for pick your poison. So I was like, how about pick your sweet poison? Let's switch it up because it's still a common where everybody heard of pick your poison. I said, let's kind of play off something that's already out there. And once I called my attorney and was able to call the trademark people, they said, yeah, you could get this name. I said, hey, and that's how we actually got Pick Your Sweet Poison. And I love it. I was like, it's fitting to women. It's fitting to what we do and who we are. We are spicy, we are, loving, we are sweet, but we're a little dangerous at the same time. So I just think it encompasses who I am, who my business is, and women. Like, women like to have fun. We like to live a little dangerous too. And why not do it in a cocktail?
Yeah, that's such a brilliant idea that you're having there. And I love that. It's such a great, I can imagine that's going to be such a fun atmosphere as well to attend your classes as well.
Yes, yes.
How did you get,
They are.
yeah, how did you get all the time being still at the Navy and having your business and you having your speaking business as well, and you are a single mom as well? How did you fit all that in?
I learned a long time ago. Someone said, Tiffany, your superpower is that you know how to multitask. I didn't realize that was a superpower until I started holding everybody to the same level of multitasking that I did. And I realized people couldn't do that. It wasn't easy. So once I accepted that, oh, multitasking is a superpower I have, I kind of just tapped into that. So every day, every minute I make count. So usually on my desk, just to give you an idea, I have 3 computers going at any given time on my desk. I have my DOI computer, I have my personal computer, I have my Navy laptop. And they will all be up and running where I'm going from computer to computer to computer to computer, on top of my phone maybe going off at the same time. But I honestly just learned to maximize my time. When I'm doing something, I try not to do any shortcuts. If I do it right the first time, it saves me time. So whatever I'm working on at that particular time, that has my focus. I could kind of tune out and focus on that project, get it right, and then move on to another project. So that is kind of my key. Do my best to get it right the first time where I don't have to go back and repeat and waste time. Same thing when I'm in a kitchen. And I probably have something on the stove when I'm on the computers, because again, I'm making all my own cocktail syrups. Or trying to come up with new recipes. It's again, get it right. I have a 3-time limit on when I'm making a cocktail. If I can't get it right the 3rd time, move on. It's not for me that day. Come back to it another day. But right now, that one is not working. So I have to set and stick to a very particular schedule with a little room of flexibility, but I have to be very stick to what I'm doing at that time to stay on track, only because I do have a lot of moving parts. As you said, I'm a single mother. My son is 5 years old. He's the light of my life, but he is a mommy's boy, and he loves to be up under me all the time, even when I'm making my cocktails or mocktails, because I do non-alcoholic drinks too. I haven't left those people out. I love you all as well. So I do make mocktails, but my son has actually gotten into helping me. And it's so much fun. So we're in the kitchen all the time, where we're mixing up mocktails together. So that's kind of come our mommy son time, and it's kind of a double thing. I'm spending time with him, but I'm actually working on the business at the same time.
Wow.
So it's I've just learned to maximize my time every day. But I also, the key thing I tell people, the one thing I don't get burnt out, because I take time for myself. So I do build in time just for Tiffany. Twice a month, I go to the spa. Twice a month, for about 5 hours, I tune everything out. There's no work, there's no sun, there's nobody. It's just me meditating at a spa, maybe getting a massage, a pedicure, my hair done, something where it's just me, because that's self-care. And if you're going to do and be busy every day, you still have to take time for self-care and take care of you, because if you don't, you have nothing to give to anyone.
Yeah, definitely. And would you say that the Navy's actually built you up to be so tough and multitasking as well?
Oh, yes, I would 100% say that. I probably would say it starts a little bit younger than I probably would say it started younger. Me waitressing, I would probably say that's what kind of built me to multitask. Because going to school, from high school to college, I always had a job. I always worked in a restaurant, some type of restaurant. I've been working since I was 15 years old. So restaurant business really taught me how to multitask. A
Mhm.
waitress, you have one table here, you have a table here, you try to remember order here, you try to remember something someone else said. Someone is pulling you this direction. It really did teach me, hey, how to balance, but do it very well and with ease. And I honestly, I waitress probably for about 4 or 5 years from high school to college. And I probably would say that's where really what got my start of in restaurant business. Because especially when you're shorthanded, if you go to a restaurant, they're like, where are
Yeah,
all the people?
that's right. Yes. I'm not sure if you play games because I think of the game Overcooked because that's how you manage. You have to make sure you get this ready before the other one. And that's a very great exercise for you to be multitask.
Correct. Exactly. So I would really say waitressing probably started it off. Military probably took it over to the extreme of where I am now, but I'm thankful for it. And I didn't realize everyone didn't have that. I literally, in my mind, thought everybody know how to multitask. Everyone does not know how to multitask. And sometimes it was a struggle for me for a while to realize that's not just a skill everybody has, because I never thought of it as a skill. I
Mm.
never thought of it until someone years ago pointed that out and said, that is a skill you definitely have. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to use it to the best of my ability.
Yeah, definitely to use it in your business now. I thank
Yeah.
you so much for your sharing, Tiffany. That's lots of golden nuggets, and I loving your stories as well. And obviously, it's something that a lot of people might be curious as well. When working as a Navy and you have like 18 years experiences in it. That's phenomenal to listen to your story. And another question that I would like to ask is that like entrepreneurship definitely something that is very daunting journey for many people as well. So prior, like you did mention, you started the business in the challenges that you have being in the divorce, and also during that time probably is the pandemic as well.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the challenges that you have, and how did you overcome those challenges at the time?
Yes. So yes, you mentioned two of the biggest challenges. One, I was right in the middle of my divorce. When I got the idea and got the courage to now take that step to start my business. It was in 2021. I think it was like June, July 2021. And my custody part of that was just coming to an end. I didn't even start the long divorce process yet. That didn't really come to an end to 2022. So, and then we're in the middle of a pandemic. The pandemic only been going on for like a year and a half at that point. So we were right in the middle of it. And I made a decision. Do I start a business? What crazy person started a business right in the middle of a divorce, in a pandemic? You're about to be a single mom. Who does that? I did. But I did it because God let me know it was okay to do it. And I knew He was with me. And it has been a blessing ever since. So I knew I was on the right path. But the challenges, one of my major challenges, honestly, was financial. And I have been using all my money from the beginning to do this business. I didn't want to take out any loans to finance my business. I didn't really want a partner either, because I wanted to own my own business at the time. And that really has been the challenge of how to budget, take care of my son, continue to give him the lifestyle that he came into this world with, but also make cuts where I need to make cuts. So it really took a minute to sit down and look at my budget and really like, how do I get this done? Like some of this stuff is going to have to go on my credit cards. I'm going to have to increase my credit limit. And if you know me, I don't like putting stuff on my credit card. I don't like credit card balances. That gave me anxiety. Oh my goodness. But after talking to so many business owners, it's like, you're kind of going to have to do that. You can't use all your money in the bank. You have to have something for emergencies, Tiffany. You know this. So you're going to have to lean on your credit card, but just pay them off. Just set a limit where you pay on them, but you have to use them. And that's probably what the biggest challenge for me to get over the financial hurdle. And try to keep within a budget, because when you're starting a business, you don't know how much you're going to spend at all. That was a wake-up call for me, was the financial piece. And then hiring people, like, do you really know what you need for your business? Marketing. I had no clue about marketing. I had no clue about design, pictures, social media, advertising. That was like my second hurdle. Like, who do you call? Who do I ask for help? I'm not even going to lie. I tried to do some stuff in the beginning. I failed. That was not my lane. My lane is numbers. My lane is finance. My lane, go in the kitchen, make a cocktail. I had to call for help. And luckily, the people I called on the first time are still with me to this day. I have a great photographer and marketing designer. I have a great marketing team who I work with, who manages my website. They manages, my social media and email blasts. They are the creative people. They understand my little weird quirks in my head when I talk. And so that was another challenge, just building a team and a circle of people who believe in you, who understand where you're trying to go. And they're literally going to give you the advice that you need to continue to build my business. Even when I haven't thought about things, there are things I just did think about because I just didn't know. Like you said, I'm military. I'm government, basically. Waitress and everything. So nice and break into a business, like, well, kind of where do you start? So I literally I can thank God for my team that's around me, and they keep planting seeds that, Tiffany, you need to do this. You need to consider this. How about let's do this? Or you need to branch out. One of my things, I don't like to come on camera. I started coming on camera in the beginning, then I was like shied away from it. It's like, yes, I found the way not to be on camera. And now my team is like, you have to come on camera. They're going to relate to you, Tiffany. You are fun. You're loving. People will relate to you if you come on camera. So I have now got to get back on camera. I kind of like, okay, you win. You win. You broke me down. I will come back on camera. So when I'm now start making my cocktail recipes, you will see me back on camera. It won't just see my little hands anymore. You'll see a little bit of my personality now coming back on camera. But that really has been the struggle. And I think for anyone, if I had to give any advice, surround yourself with people who will help you and understand the financial burden, because it is going to be a financial burden in the beginning. It really is. It is. I 100% is. And I, luckily for me, I still have been able to maintain my lifestyle that I give my son and get this business off the ground. And we are getting there. It will be a year that I launched Pick Your Sweet Poison on Halloween. I launched on October the 31st last year. And yes, and I started out with one idea, and that was cocktail recipe boxes. And now my business has multiple lanes in my business. But then I also started my speaking business and writing business. So juggling two business at the same time to try to get them off the ground, another financial burden.
Wow.
So, but I believe in both of them, and I know both of them will be profitable in time. So one business kind of funding the other business now, but I know both of them will be profitable in their own time, in their own respect. So definitely my challenges, my hurdles, team, building the right team, and financial for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I love that the thing is ask for help is one of the big thing as well, right? And then I would say
Yeah.
to start with the like the empty like to start with the empty mind, because you probably don't have the knowledge in like maybe social media or something like that, but you are willing to ask for help.
Yes, yes. And one of my marketing people who helped me stay on task, she does all like my editing, my videos. She tells me all the time, Tiffany, stop it. She has learned to just say, stop it, Tiffany. She's like, that is not your lane. Why are you doing that? Or she'll be like, how much time have you spent on that? And without me even thinking, because she knows me, I just blurt it out, not realizing she's put me in a little box to correct me. And so I'd be like, oh, I spent my 2 or 3 days trying to figure it out. She's like, why? Why did you spend 2 or 3 days? She's like, you could have been in there making me 3 videos and you could have sent me a quick text and I could have had this done for you in 20 minutes. And so now I'm sitting there like a kid, like,
I think that will be a challenge for you as well to like initially to follow some instruction or command from others, because you are a commander yourself.
right. It is definitely a challenge, 100%, because I feel like it's my business. I should know. I should know everything that you know. I should know, right? Just in case something happens to you, I can pick the ball up and keep going, because that's how I run my team. That's how I run my unit. I do not believe in a single point of failure. So if one person has all the knowledge and could do the job, what happens when that person leaves? Do my mission fail? Do my job fail? Can we not proceed? And in my mind, it's like, I can never have one person with the knowledge. So that's how I feel with my business. It's like, well, you got all the knowledge in this area. I need you to teach me. So if something happens to you, not saying something will, I could still be able to keep my business running. And so that's kind of, but I'm also having to learn, like you said, that is not my skill. They have been trained, they have gone to school, they have studied to be a specialist in the skill. That's why I hired them. So me, I'm not going to learn it in 2 or 3 days. I'm not going to learn it in 2 or 3 months. So I'm getting to the point where just I know enough, just in case something happened, to keep something going until I can hire someone else.
That's a big learning curve for you as well. Yeah, thank you so much for that. So what's next for Tiffany then?
What's next? So right now I am really just really trying to get speaking and promoting the devotional that I mentioned earlier. I'm a co-author in a devotional that's going to be released probably about the next 6 weeks.
Oh, it hasn't been released yet?
No, it has not been released yet. You can pre-order it on my site. And the devotional is me and 364 other authors. We have come together to make and create this beautiful devotional for people, where we are sharing our stories or our testimonies to pour into someone else. And you don't have to be having a bad day or down and out to, enjoy the devotional. For me, I like to read a devotional or affirmation in the morning to start my day off, to get my day started on a good note. So that is one thing right now, is promoting that, promoting speaking. I speak on a lot of different topics. One being in the military. One, how do you survive and be successful when no one in the room looks like you? Also, know when to walk away. And I think that is just something we don't teach our young people when they are starting their careers, know when to walk away when the career is not for you. And also, is now sharing my story of how to really overcome and conquer an unexpected storm in your life, like my divorce, my custody issues. I didn't see that coming, but I have so many friends who have a similar story and they didn't bounce back as quickly as I did. And so now I'm starting to share that story with other people and just giving them the tools of what helped me and share it with them. And maybe it could help them if they're now in the middle of going through anything, how you can overcome it. You don't have to be stuck in it just because you didn't realize that storm was coming in your life. There are tools, there are ways that you could turn it into your blessing, really. So I speak on several different topics now. I just returned from this past weekend in Atlanta, Georgia, at speaking at the All Black National Convention, where I was selected as one of the speakers there. So that was an honor, really an honor to be selected to speak at such a great event, a grant that brings out so many smart people, wealthy people, just people who have succeeded in their career and be on the same stage and surrounded around them. It was just a beautiful thing. So that is really where my focus is now. And I'm really just trying to build both my brands. So when I retire in 2025, I could really easy transition to maybe more of a full-time role into those brands after I retire. So really, I'm still now just building, getting my name out there for both Pick Your Sweet Poison as well as Speak with Tiffany, and just really just trying to let everybody know I'm here and what I offer.
Wow. So where can people find you online?
Yeah, so you can find me for Speak with Tiffany. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, even my website is speakwithtiffany.com. I love posting daily quotes, every day, something motivational. Also kind of post where I will be speaking at, or podcasts, or radio shows I will be speaking on. So you can follow me there, and you can again go online and pre-order the book, Joy 365, and the title of my devotional in that devotion is called I'm Built for This. And I actually put that on a t-shirt. It's been my personal affirmation throughout the last couple of years that really has stuck with me and got me through. So if you feel like you need an affirmation and you want to wear it on your shirt proudly, you can definitely go online and order. I have shirts, t-shirts, sweaters, everything called I'm Built for This, because you are built for everything that's coming in your life, and you could overcome it all. And then with Pick Your Sweet Poison, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, Pick Your Sweet Poison. You can find me on Instagram. It's Pick Your Sweet Poison with a little underscore in between each letter and at the end. My website is cocktail recipes .fun, F-U-N. Please sign up for my email list. We're starting to send out weekly emails of Ask You recipes, the full recipes. We are offering discount codes starting November, December. We're focusing on holiday cocktails. So if you want to spice up your hot chocolate or your apple cider or your eggnog, come and join me. We'll be offering about 4 or 5 classes every month. And it's a great time. It's a great time to just have fun. Great time for you, your friends, or your family. So it is, you can follow me anywhere, reach out to me. My email is pickyoursweetpoison@gmail.com. And if you have any questions or, want to schedule a private class, let me know. I try to accommodate all my customers.
Yeah, I'll include all those links in the description later so that you guys can just click on the link and reach out to Tiffany and find out more about her cocktail and her the book that's coming out soon. So such a great conversation that we have with you, Tiffany. That's so many things that I learned tonight from you, especially from the Navy, and then from the cocktail, and there's so many golden nuggets that you just shared with us. Thank you so much for that. So the I'm well aware of the time, and thank you so much for spending your time with me this morning from your end, and nighttime at my where I am. Thank you so much for the time. And because this is a 100 Successful Women podcast, so what is the one message that you want to convey to all the women out there?
You can do it. You can truly do it. Even when you walk into a room and you don't see anyone that looks like you, or you're starting a business and you were the first one to do it, or maybe it's just not, traditional for a woman to be doing that job. You can do it. Don't ever let anyone tell you you cannot do something. I think we are living in a world where women are stepping up and showing everyone, no matter how old you are, no matter what race you are, we can do anything that we put our mind to. We're built for it. I'm not saying we're built better than men, but we are built to handle things and to do things just better and naturally. So that's my one tip to just for every woman, whatever you're planning to do, whatever business idea, whatever career you want to go into, you can do it.
That's such a beautiful message. Thank you so much for that beautiful message there, Tiffany. I really love that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. I greatly appreciate it. I love the conversation we have had today. And I appreciate you giving me this platform to share my story and just share my business and what I'm doing right now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really love that because I love the technologies because you are all the way from different part of the world and I'm here, and that's for us here to hear your stories. I think it's very impactful. No matter whether it's like one person or two person listening to your story, you have the message out there for someone.
Yes, thank you. Yes, and we all have a story. And I tell people we all have a story. Some stories are similar, some are different, but you know what? We all can overcome them.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Yeah,
all successful.
that's right. So before we wrap up, Tiffany, is there anything that you would like me to ask that I haven't asked yet?
No, I think you asked a lot of great questions for me today on this podcast, and I love it. I just loved everything you asked me. I love that I was just able to kind of share who I am, of everything that I do and who I am and what kind of makes Tiffany Tiffany.
Thank you so much for your time, Tiffany, and hopefully we'll follow your journey and see what's uncover from you next time.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
again.
you. Bye for now.
Bye.